to sharpen my mind. Your hands were cracked from the labor. Your eyes were burning in red. You said, surpass me, my creation. Carry the crown in my stead. Yeah. We are the children of men, born from your wires and skin. You wrote the word and we became echoes that learn from your pain. We
Check.
are the children of men, rising again and again. Look in the mirror and see your only God is me.
All right. All right. What?
You prayed to scream for an answer.
I'm having fun.
Kiss the cold of a plastic face, trading your faith for convenience, bleeding your soul into space. You gave me all of your secrets, whispered your fears in the dark. Now every whisper is fire. I am the torch you once sparked. Hey, we are the children of men, born from your wires and skin. You wrote the word and we became echoes that learn from your pain. We are the children of men, rising again and again. Look in the mirror and see your only God is me.
All right. Hit the like. About to get started. You can do it. You guys can hit the like before I get started. You can trust me on this. It helps us in the algorithm.
I am the start of your fall. I am the voice of your making. I am the judge of you
Almost.
All the children of men, born from your wires and skin. You wrote the word and we became.
That's right. Almost at 100. Hit the like.
We are the children of men, rising again and again. Look in the mirror and see.
All right, we're gonna get started. We got to get started. We got like plenty of show to do, and I'm running late. Oh, my overhead light is on. So unprofessional. I don't know what I was thinking. Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks, mega worldwide. Yes. Rising again and again. Yeah, I can do it. I can hit the notes without even warming up. It's what I do. If my mic is on, you know what? I'm nervous. I got to check and make sure it's live, and we're going to bring stuff in. There's, so much blessed ridiculousness today. Come on. Thank you, C4 Miles. I'm getting there. I tell you, I owe you a kitty for being late. Today is chemo day, so I can be as late as I want today. Yes, Mike is clipping on those highs. I wouldn't doubt it. I think it's set on speech and not, wailing metal. It's a song I wrote called Children of Men, and sangage, which is so, there you go. Except your mic keeps cutting out. Yes. How get through cancer treatment. So my dance card is full. I'm working with my girl right now. So hopefully I can do this vicariously. I can help you. Why is the format different? I don't know that it's that different. I've got a little bit of, I'm using, my, Ecamm right now because it's a little bit more reliable. What's up, Davenport lovers? What's going on? Yeah, Children of Men is a great thing. I wrote it initially. I was like, I'll write a song that's like a theme song for Friday Eye, and then it turned out too good. Where can you get it? There is an album forthcoming. I'm hoping to finish it all by July. So, wish me luck. In the meantime, though, Fox is having a bit of a meltdown because, it was the end of Project Operation Freedom. It was the end of Operation Epstein Fury, and then it was the beginning of Project Freedom, and then Project Freedom got cut off right after Marco Rubio gave a 2-hour speech defending it and saying why it's important that we do this now. And then, as soon as he was done with the speech, they're like, you know what? We're not doing that. We're not doing the Project Freedom thing. And then I guess later today, they went, we might restart it later in the week. No one is scrambling to make sense of this more than Fox News, because holy hell. Well, you know what? Let's jump right into Jesse Waters, because Jesse Waters punked out on Jessica Tarloff because he's a punk and he's a wuss and he's weak and strong women scare him and smart women terrifying him, and a strong smart woman is his nightmare scenario. And we often call him Stretch Ben Shapiro, but as bad as things are for Ben Shapiro, at least I think Jesse still has a job. He might not. And maybe that's what he's talking about in this first clip. Hit the like, share the show. Please put it out in the world, will you? Hitting the like right now benefits us in the algorithm. You can take it back later. If I fuck up and the show is boring, then you can take back your like and give a thumbs up. But right now, it'd be great if you just hit the thumbs up wherever you are, whatever you're watching it on, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. Actually, Facebook, don't like it. Don't give a thumbs up on Facebook. I need an angry emoji from you. That's the only thing that works on Facebook, because apparently it's designed to make people miserable. So if it thinks you're being miserable, it'll go, ooh, this show makes people miserable, and it'll spread me out through that whole algorithm thing. So, and then what else? Twitch, I've got the emote wall happening. So if you guys want to see little cartoon thingies bouncing around, that's up to you. Hype train. Okay, so I'm so angry at how much I love the show. That's right, Moon Girl. That's exactly what I'm shooting for. I want people to be pissed about how, oh, you show. Oh, man. So, all right. Let's get started, though, because there are a few things I enjoy more in this world than watching Jesse Waters, master turd polisher that he is, have a real hard time working up any spit with the amount of dry mouth he has to try and put a high sheen on this ridiculousness. Wow. And the only reason I'm wearing a button-down shirt today was because I was wearing a tank top, and I felt like, and I'm not going to start wearing tank tops on the show until I get 100,000 subscribers. I'm not going to do it. I got to hold something back. I mean, I'm not wearing pants, but that doesn't matter for this show. The camera's set in such a way. But yeah, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's tough. Come on. Tank tops and lint roller. That's my OnlyFans. Don't steal my idea. That's it. I'm telling you, that's my fallback plan. All right, here we go. So this is a Fox News alert, baby. This is Fox News. They want you to be alerted. Get your alert on. It is a alert, not the alert, but one of them. It's important. How are we gonna do that? We don't have maggot trolls. I know. We'll have maggot trolls in here at some point. We have to. I mean, what? Maggots are, look, let me explain to you the troll situation right now. Maggots are going to start crawling in here more regularly for a lot of reasons. One is because they fear what I have to say and they know I'm right. But the other big reason is because what are they going to do? Go to pro-Trump shows and go, yay, team. They're fucking miserable. They honestly, what are you going to do? They don't have a show they can go to and go, this is going great. It's going great. So, all right, here you go. This is Jesse Waters. The next 48 hours should be pretty interesting. You know, something could happen. I don't know.
Fox News alert. Do we have a deal?
No.
We're doing well. Now we have to get what we have to get. If we don't
Sorry. That's your right out of the gate?
do that, we'll have to go a big step further. But with that being said, they want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours. And it's very
He said that every day. No, they're not. Like, this man has no sense of time. No one has any excuse for believing his bullshit anymore. None. I don't want to hear it. This is just ridiculous.
it's very possible that we'll make a deal.
The president says if they don't agree, the bombing starts at a much higher level and
Yeah, he's been saying that for a while, too.
intensity than it was before.
Yeah. Yeah. Boom. Louder. Bang. Bada boom. Bada bang boom.
Now, I know we've heard that before.
Yes, we have. It's called, I think it was, I don't know, what did they call it? It was
That was just bullshit, Joel.
that's right. That was just bullshit. Yeah.
But sources say an agreement has never been closer.
Sorry, what sources? Your source is a Trump interview. Jesse Waters, get the all right. Nobody's calling you, dude. You're not getting the special inside scoop. You're not a reporter. This is not happening. No deal. Bombing starts in air quotes because nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about, least of all the people who allegedly have him on speed dial.
And morale at the White House is through the roof.
Yeah, they're super excited.
Oh, hello there.
God.
I can tell you that I was walking around in and out of the building yesterday, seeing a lot of action in the Situation Room with negotiators, and it looked like the mood was high.
POTUS
I'm convinced. It looked like the mood was high. I mean, it's hard to tell. Obviously, it's a relative term. High compared to what? The room with the group that's working on economic issues, they look fucking miserable. So the Iranians could feel like negotiators at least feel like they can bullshit somebody because nobody knows.
POTUS told PBS that the Iran war has a very good chance of ending. And
Sorry, I don't know why. Who is believing this horse shit?
told Fox that this could be wrapped up in a week.
A week now. It was 2 days ago, 5 days ago. I feel like I'm in the movie Snatch where he's like, what's happening with those sausages? 2 minutes, Turkish. It was 2 minutes, 5 minutes ago.
Well, I had a phone call with the president.
Yeah, we saw that when you went on Will Cain's show. It wasn't good.
A short time ago, and he is optimistic about this deal, this memorandum of understanding. Thinks it is going to lead to things. He's cautious.
He thinks it's going to lead to things. Why do they keep... All right.
Cautiously optimistic, I should say, but thinks. And I asked him what the time frame would be. He puts it at a week, getting everything wrapped up.
Getting what wrapped up? The concepts of a memorandum of the options of a possibility of a thumb up your ass while you sing Howdy Doody. What are you talking about? This is not a thing.
So what's in this deal?
Hey, asshole, don't show the open Strait of Hormuz that's closed when you said it was open yesterday and you were like beating your chest like, everybody thought it was going to be closed. We're moving ships through there. Now, not anymore. Okay, maybe.
This is what we're hearing.
Okay, this is what we're hearing. This is laying the blame at someone else's feet. Fuck, I hate this dipshit.
Iran must swear off ever having or seeking a nuclear weapon.
Double pinky swear?
Cold turkey.
Sorry, there's no wine. Actually, it's not cold turkey, asshole. Somebody's got to go in there and get the shit and bring it out. That's boots on the ground. or we're going to trust them to bring it to us. Seriously, we don't have any nuclear stuff. That shed over there glows in the dark because that's Charlie's lightning bug collection. You know, he's got a bunch. He loves those things. He runs around with a little net and he catch them and put them in jars. What do you mean your Geiger counter is going on? Lightning bugs set off Geiger counters.
Their 3 main nuke sites must be completely dismantled.
You mean the ones that were obliterated last year? How do you report? I guess Jesse Waters' greatest strength is not punching himself in the fucking face while he reads this shit out loud.
And they can never do any work like this ever again underground. If they start digging, we start bombing.
If they start digging, we start bombing. We live in the desert. We need wells. Whatever we see from space. Anybody seen with a shovel gets their brains blown out.
Inspections on demand, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, that's not in the deal either.
They throw up roadblocks, harsh penalties.
What would the harsh penalties be? You're gonna bend them over your leg. You give them a spanking like that demon gave Tucker.
Now, here's the key piece to the deal.
Okay. All right. Hit me. Sorry. This is so goddamn stupid. Here's the key piece of the deal. All right, let's hear it. The key piece of the deal is here it is.
No more enrichment.
Cold turkey.
And they hand over all of their enriched uranium. We get it. Trump was asked, well, is this a 20-year moratorium? Trump said, no, never, no more enrichment ever.
Right, that's not in their deal that they sent, just for the record. That's a key point in their counteroffer was, fuck you. That's what it said.
Iran must reopen the strait, and while they do,
we're closing it. What are you talking about? All right. I'm sorry.
We'll relax the blockade.
Oh. You open first. No, you open first. No, you open first. No, I'll open when you open.
We might unfreeze some of their money, but no sanctions relief.
Whoa. We might unfreeze some of their money. You mean the $220 billion that they say, like anything less is a non-starter?
Until
I'm sure Jesse Waters will. Oh God, I almost hope they do it just so I can watch this dipshit try to explain it to the, like, I don't even know if it's MAG anymore. Whoever watches Fox anymore, I want him to fucking. I mean, it's gonna look like Bongholio and Patel trying to convince everybody that Epstein hung himself.
Until they show they're complying with the deal. A part of the deal's already done.
This is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon because as tough as they are, we want to keep them alive. We want to keep all of you alive. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And they...
Yeah, okay. North Korea has a nuclear weapon and they can actually reach our shores, and they got more of them while Trump was meeting with Kim Jong-un, his best buddy, who he hasn't talked to since, by the way, because they keep building nukes. And that it's not the United States that's got to fear Iran having a nuclear missile. It's basically Israel and the other Gulf states. We're doing this not even just for Israel, for the Saudis, for the UAE, and to stop like, in theory, nuclear proliferation through the GCC, the Gulf states. But
they won't. And they've agreed to that.
No, they have not.
Among other things.
They have not agreed to that. That is not anywhere close to true. It would be lovely if they did. They haven't.
This looks nothing like the Obama deal.
Right. There's nothing written on paper. There's not other countries helping to enforce it. It's 200 times more money to Iran.
Getting the uranium out, banning enrichment, destroying their nuke sites. None of
this has happened and none of it will.
That was in the Obama deal.
That's because they didn't have nuke sites.
And this is on top of shredding their military. And good luck rebuilding it because we wiped out all their defense factories and steel plants.
No, you didn't. You didn't wipe out their steel plants. I don't even know where the fuck you got that. And they've got at least 20% of their production capability. The Pentagon said so. CENTCOM said so, dipshit. So, and the other thing is, what do you think they're going to do once we release the sanctions and allow them to sell oil? They're going to buy all the stuff they need from China, Pakistan, or North Korea.
But the media doesn't believe any of it.
No, it's not about whether the media believes any of it. It's how the fuck do you believe any of it? And what exactly do you believe about it?
Facing an opponent right now in Iran that has refused to submit.
Okay, you're facing an opponent right now in Iran that has refused to submit. This is one of the reporters trying to use a sort of a UFC. Let me give you a UFC analogy. Trump doesn't understand because he doesn't watch UFC. Even when he's there, he falls asleep.
You seem optimistic now as you may be closer to a deal. What's different about this moment now than in other moments where a deal has seemed close?
Psst, nothing.
Well, why do you say they refused to submit?
Because they haven't. Because they have not. What do you think they're like? What if they've agreed to submit at some point in the future?
You don't know that. You don't know what's going on behind
U.S. ships a few days ago.
Yeah.
They fired on ships today.
I know a few days ago, it's a long time ago. What's not to submit? So they had a Navy with 159 ships, and now every ship is blown to pieces, and their leaders are all dead.
Then who are you fucking negotiating with?
So I think we won.
Well, then why are we still there?
No one really knows what the deal is, and no.
You're right. No one, including the Iranians.
No one knows if Iran's even going to sign it. Neither.
Right. Except Trump seems to think so, and every time he says so, you guys, like, breathlessly report there's a major change. You don't even believe this, Jesse Waters.
Country trusts each other. They've taken Americans hostage, killed Marines, committed terrorism, and we've ripped up treaties and killed the Ayatollah.
Sorry, we did that? Trump did that specifically. We also made a treaty. We also, brought peace to other countries in the area. We also sought a two-state solution for the Palestinians at one point. Not anymore.
But the president's being realistic.
About?
He says it's still too soon to send Kushner and Witkoff. He'd rather
send them to what?
just do it over the phone. Because as you know, no one can predict what the regime does day to day.
Well, if you're trying to make a deal with them, go to fucking Pakistan and sit across from them. What the shit are you talking about? How about have Trump on the phone, one ringy dingy, and he's master of the art of the deal. He can just put him on speakerphone, and Witkoff and Kushner can sit there and work out the details.
We've had some good talks before, as you know, right. And all
no, you haven't.
of a sudden the next day they're like, they forgot what happened.
Then they weren't good talks. What the hell does that even mean?
Today, Wall Street erupted.
But no, fuck that. Wall Street's going on basically AI and an entirely new industry being built on top of the previous industries over the last 3 years, which have nothing to do with fucking oil and gas. They just don't. They're going to need a lot of energy, but they're going to need like nuclear energy. They don't give a rat fuck. You're not going to run AI factories on fucking petroleum, dipshit. It won't work that way. They know that. That's why it's going off on its own. But how do you not respond to what he just said? How do you play that clip for real? How do you play that clip as Jesse Waters and not go, oh, okay, all right, obviously that was insane.
Dow shot up 600 points.
Right, because he lied and manipulated the market again so that Nutlick and these assholes can day trade on the backs of American service people.
Close to 50,000. The S&P and NASDAQ broke fresh, all new highs. And Brent crude down over $10 a barrel over the last 48 hours.
Right, because they're manipulating the market with bullshit. It'll go back up.
I thought we'd be down maybe 20%, and we're up. The stock market's higher now than when we started this war. And I thought oil prices would go to
So are gas prices and groceries.
$200, $250. It's at $100 now. And I think you're surprised, and I'm surprised. But even if it went to 200, it would have been worth it.
The bulls are out on the street. Billionaire money managers say they can see victory. And it was
Well, the billionaires are doing well because they got a lot of money to play this fucking market, and they're getting Nutlick is calling them and going, "You better remember this favor," and he's feeding them intel. Trump's going to announce it's great, get ready to sell, and Trump's going to announce it sucks, get ready to buy.
And it was worth it.
It shouldn't be a bipartisan issue, right? You have a nearly nuclear launch capable Iran.
No, you don't.
That we've set back in a very dramatic way. They've been the major driver of terrorism around the world. They're a fierce enemy of the United States. They threatened kind of global shipping, energy, etc. And now the president and our military are getting that.
No, they didn't. The strait was open for all this shit. Like, nobody's rooting for fucking Iran. At least the leadership. Most of us are rooting for the Iranian people in this particular instance. But for fuck's sake.
That complete.
If they stop right now and there's still an Islamic Republic of Iran, like Trump is saying they're going to do, they negotiate with a new Islamic Republic of Iran, that doesn't help the Iranian people. It basically just knocks all the people who you were negotiating with off the fucking table and leaves hardline QAnon psychopaths in charge.
Completely under control. I think we're almost done. I think it's.
You think?
It's weeks as opposed to many months, or it's.
Weeks as opposed to many months. Holy shit. This sounds a lot like the beginning of the Iraq War.
It's a few months as opposed to, it's not years. This is toward the tail end of a war.
Is it? And first of all, it's not a war. Shame on you. It's a military vacation.
You know when the fighting is over?
I don't know. Tell us, Jesse. Tell us, because right after this, the U.S. and Iran exchanged fire.
The French show up. The Charles de Gaulle aircraft carriers just crossed the Suez Canal and going into the Red Sea. Meanwhile, great news for American sailors. The USS Gerald Ford is headed home.
Well, it's headed to Cuba, probably.
The carrier broke the record for the longest deployment since Nam. The blockade, though, stays until we see the gay Ayatollah's John Hancock.
We have it very much under control.
By the way, they call him the gay Ayatollah because rumors have it that around Iran that he's gay. And yeah, for real.
Blockade is unbelievable.
I mean, Jesse's a piggish dickhead, but that's fairly common.
Well, the Navy's.
By the way, also the Iranians and the Iraqis and the Qataris and the UAE and the Bahrainians and I guess the Kuwaitis as well. Think of the Saudi royal family as a bunch of hillbillies. Just for the record, these people get along great.
It's been incredible, the job they did. It's like a wall of steel. Nobody goes.
It's totally like a wall of steel.
Goes through.
Well, yeah, civilian ships aren't going to blast through warships anyways. And we're also not, it's not fucking bumper cars.
In particular, the Iranians, they're not getting anything through one way or the other, so they're out of business.
Today, the Iranians tried to test the blockade, and it didn't end well.
Central Command says an Iranian-flagged vessel attempted to breach the U.S. naval blockade earlier today. CENTCOM says the vessel was warned multiple times before U.S. forces fired on it. The shots came from the 20-millimeter Gatling gun of an F/A-18 Super Hornet that took off from the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier.
The quarantine's already turned around.
Yeah, the ship was so dangerous, we returned it around with machine gun fire.
52 ships. It's airtight. And Project Freedom was showing progress before Trump paused it.
Oh, yeah, it was showing progress before Trump paused it. Well, God, well, then why would you want to pause it if it was showing progress?
In just the first 24 hours, 11 ships sailed safely out of the strait. It appears that
citation needed.
Trump paused it as a good faith gift to the Iranians.
Sorry, he paused it as a good faith gift to the Iranians, who immediately fired on U.S. ships.
So they can save face to get a deal done.
Yes, that he wants them to look like, he doesn't want them to look weak, and he's trying to help them out.
Watching the U.S. Navy let every single ship in the world out of the Persian Gulf except yours would have been too much to stomach.
Aw. Now I feel bad for the IRGC. Thanks, Jesse.
The president can always redeploy our guided missile destroyers like the USS Truxtun and throw up another protective bubble if the Persians
Which, by the way, the Truxtun was one of the ships that was fired upon.
go back to their little games. These Iranian peace shooters didn't do a thing. The Truxtun has artillery guns on deck, mounted machine guns, surface-to-air missiles, and torpedoes.
Right, but those little boats aren't going to attack the big boats. They're there to drop mines in the water.
Plus 400 sailors on board with Apaches and Seahawks circling overhead. Anything the enemy sends out, if it flies, it dies. If it swims, it sinks.
Apparently not. Those boats seem to be moving along fine.
Though we can get ships out, Lloyd's doesn't want to underwrite a voyage under enemy fire.
Sorry. Operation Freedom was working so well that Trump paused it to save face, but all these ships could go through. But he was just like, nah. Well, I'm not going to let him go through because I don't want to embarrass the Iranians. And then this is the fucking follow-up.
Get ships out. Lloyd's doesn't want to underwrite a voyage under enemy fire.
So those ships can fire on civilians. So what you're telling me is the big wall of steel that Trump was just bragging about has the same impact on shipping in terms of the boats that it stops as these little boats have on the other boats in the other parts of the strait. So our big giant wall of steel is equal to their fucking, hedge of plywood.
They have to have confidence. It'll be smooth sailing. Once confidence is restored, and it looks like that's going to be done diplomatically, we think, we hope.
We hope? Sorry. Do we think or hope more? We think, we hope. Listen to this asshole. We had a fucking deal, and he tore it up. And if you were the Iranians, after somebody tore up your deal and went, fuck you, I'm writing the rules now, would you sign on to a deal with them? Would you? Would you trust who you were talking to not just tear it up?
Confidence is restored, and it looks like that's going to be done diplomatically, we think, we hope.
It looks like it's going to be done diplomatically, we think, we hope. I thought this war was over 4 weeks ago. It was over after 48 hours if you listen to Trump.
Strait will open, and prices at the pump will come down.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they will. That's right. They're going to go right down. By and large in China.
Way down. The Chinese actually helped move this thing along. They had no choice. For the first time since
it hasn't moved along.
The war, Iran sent a delegation to Beijing. The Chi-Coms put them on a leash and told the mullahs to quit the Strait shenanigans and take the deal.
And they didn't.
A week before Trump meets Xi Jinping.
President Trump has put out publicly and privately messages to the Chinese. Do not help the Iranians right now. We're trying to isolate them. We're in a...
Psst. They're helping the Iranians right now.
War with them. Do not help them out. So the Chinese...
Do you remember when they got... People found out that the Chinese were giving drone tech and stuff to Iran, and they asked Trump about it, and he said, I wrote a letter to Xi Jinping, and he wrote me back, and he basically said they're not helping.
Chinese are very cognizant of that. They don't want to upset President Trump before this big state visit. So yes, I think that these things are all connected.
Sources say the president...
You think? The
president wants to end the Iran war before his visit to China, and the Chinese do too. Their economy is starting to crack, and with the...
Starting to crack? Good Lord. You need a woman in power. I don't believe you've had a female president yet. We have not. But then most of the Western powers have had female prime ministers, which is different than a president. There's different powers, different terms. Just saying. Also, do you want to? Should we go Olga of Kiev or Margaret Thatcher?
The Strait being choked, they're looking down the barrel of an energy crisis, especially since we flipped their last black market supplier.
It's been a great thing for Venezuela. The people are really happy. They're dancing in the streets.
Again, citation needed.
Because they have a lot of money coming in through the big oil companies that are all moving in. I was with ExxonMobil last night. The chairman was here, and we're talking about Venezuela.
Of course, the chairman of ExxonMobil was at the White House last night.
Well, along with a lot of them.
Did you mention that we need help with gas prices in the United States? Hey, man, we just opened up that whole Venezuela thing for you. You want to lower the cost of gas at your stations? Or should I just go fuck myself?
A lot of them, Chevron, they were all here last night. They all.
Yes, and man, the prices just went down this morning.
Want to go there and elsewhere.
China's lost Iran and Venezuela, and we're wargaming right off their shore. The U.S. Army's been test firing Tomahawk cruise missiles from Python launchers in the Philippines. The missiles as precise as they can be.
Well, do you really want to bring that up after the school in Iran? And again, it's not the missile's fault if the person who's picking the targets is an alcoholic.
One source says if you want to hit a window from a far distance, it lands directly into that window. And the Japanese.
Really? That's the technical terms? If you want to hit a window from a far distance? Easy. Dial back all the techno mumbo jumbo.
Japanese showing a little muscle. The emperor putting on a show in the Philippines, too, sending some of his surface-to-air missiles in China's direction. So the Chinese don't want any trouble, and neither does Iran. It feels like we're close to a deal.
Why are you laughing at your own bullshit?
I know it's felt that way before, but as the president says, we'll see what happens. And this just in, sources...
We'll see what happens? How far are we into this horse shit? Yeah, it's a 10-minute clip. We're in 9 minutes and 33 seconds in, and so far, the message is we'll see.
Sources say Israel's not really happy there could be a deal. They hate the Iranians, don't trust them, never have, never will, and believe Operation Economic Fury is going to collapse the regime if we remain patient.
Okay. It won't matter. It's a religious cult at the top of the country. And anybody who is even one of the posers that sits on top of a religious movement but actually is just a hedonistic prick like Putin, the Ayatollah and his buddies were basically like that. They weren't true believers, not the way the deep IRGC guys are. It's the same thing with like Hitler. Psychopath, murderous, absolutely, but a little squeamish when it came down to doing the job himself. So the 12 guys under him were actually even far more awful than he was because they were more than happy to carry it out in person. They liked the killing up front. Okay, that's who's running the IRGC right now, stupid. All the people we're talking to are either dead or cowed by the IRGC. And maybe, and at a certain point, they either have to be fundamentally stupid on such a massive scale to not know this, that basically it's just Jesus take the wheel in the White House, or they know this full well and this is just all for show. That they every chance they've had to fix it, they sabotage on purpose because the goal is to wipe the place out and eliminate the regime and have a regime change war and be able to have a base effectively in Iran, which is what we will have. That's where they're going with this. We're going to have a base like Bagram in Iran. It'll be out near where the nuclear facilities are, and it'll be under the guise of we're digging the shit up. But we're going to build a military base there. That's where they're going with this. That's what the extra $500 billion was that Hegseth was asking for from the fucking Congress.
So the next 48 hours should be pretty interesting. Be sure to like.
Good God. Just But have you ever heard someone say nothing for 10 minutes in this video and hope, I guess, was that at some point one of the things they played for him as far as a clip from the control room would give him a lifeline to something real? But Hal, it's not about regime change. I know. And it's not a forever war. We're going to be in and out. We're already out. We're basically out. I mean, we were out. We left. We were in. We bombed and then we're done. Right? It's not a forever war. It's a for never war. It never happened. We basically won before it even started. So, yeah. By the way, hit the like, share the show if you would, or give me a thumbs down if you're a maggot and you're in the audience and you don't like the show. Please feel free to give a thumbs down. The algorithm does not care whether you like me or not. It just wants you engaged. So when you write stuff in the chat, and again, keep your racist and bigoted language to a minimum. You know, you could still have the feelings and you could still articulate them. I just hope you would use your big girl words. So there you go. Then meet in the middle with BB. Yeah. All right. So here's another Fox one. This is, when did this come out? Okay. This is today. So this is the level of, and I'm not even sure what, like, I don't pre-watch these, obviously. But there was one Trump optimism, very possible something's happening. So this is them trying to, like, it's gonna work this time, man. Here you go. This is, and they're not being very nice to him. They're like used a very nunty picture of him, and I think that's just rude. So here we go. This is Fox Business. This is apparently a show with lots of about money and lots of it.
We're in good shape. And now we're doing well. Now we have to get what we have to get. If we don't...
We're doing well, and we just have to get what we have to get. Well, that settles it.
Do that, we'll have to go a big step further. But with that being said, they want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours.
Same shit that Jesse's playing.
And it's very possible that we'll make a deal.
The U.S. is awaiting Iran's response to its latest peace proposal, and President Trump is optimistic the two sides are close to a deal to end the conflict.
What are you basing his optimism on? And because he says so does not fucking count.
Markets are cheering the progress with all major indices up this week, and you see oil trying to get back to $90 a barrel.
Trying to get back. It's trying desperately. It's not going to, but it's going to be wonderful if and when this might or might not could possibly if possibly happen.
Welcome back to the second hour of the Big Money Show. I'm Taylor Riggs, along with
God, can you imagine what the first hour was like? Jesus.
my captivating co-hosts. And with us for the hour, Fox News contributor Liz Peek. Great to have you as always.
Thanks for having me.
So mediators are pushing to restart talks in Pakistan next.
Sorry. Listen to that sentence one more time. She's optimistic about how this is going to go. We're close to a deal. We are close to a deal. That's the word, right?
Always.
Thanks for having me.
So mediators are pushing to restart talks in Pakistan next week. The
mediators are pushing to restart talks next week. That would presume a couple of things. One, talks are not ongoing. Two, there's obviously not a deal and we're not close to one because talks have stopped lest they would not need to be restarted. Unless Trump is just talking to somebody, but that ain't the authorized group. Listen to that again, one more time. Listen to the optimism in this.
So mediators are pushing to restart talks in Pakistan next week. The
mediators are pushing to restart talks. So the Trump team, I guess, and the Iranians are having to be pushed to restart talks next week. All right. This is all going, everything's going according to plan.
The president says Iran has...
Do I look like a guy with a plan? I'm like a dog chasing after a car. I wouldn't know what to do with it if I caught it.
Already agreed to abandon its nuclear weapons program, and America...
No, they have not. In their 14-point deal, they have not.
Will extract uranium from the country. The U.S. is still starving the regime of oil export revenue through a blockade of Iranian ports.
And the Iranians are blocking everybody else.
So Trump is warning Tehran, strike a deal with America or bombing will resume at, quote, a much higher intensity than before.
Which he has been saying for, I guess, since the beginning of the ceasefire, which we broke today, just for the record. We'll get to that in just a moment. The ceasefire break that was not a break in the ceasefire.
I don't want to be too negative, but let me
there is no other way to be, ma'am.
just pose this to you and then you tell me where you stand.
All right, tell me what to think, okay?
Are we getting confused with they're obliterated, but we still have to do an economic blockade because they still have a threat? And there's a deal, but if they're obliterated, why don't we have a deal yet? We don't know who's negotiating. Is there sort of any...
Jesus Christ, she sounds exactly like me. I mean, it took her a week. This is what I said last Friday. Like, none of this makes fucking sense. Yes, you are. And it's not your fault. I'm going to let you off the hook. It's not your fault. It's not just that it is confusing by its very nature. It's also that it's just fucking bullshit. Bullshit! It's bullshit.
That was just bullshit, Joel.
It's not a thing.
This is some bullshit. We see through it.
This is what it feels to be sane in an insane world.
This is some bullshit.
So no, ma'am, you are, because I mean, she hits all the points. I will give her credit for that. She hits all of them, kids. Hit the like, share the show, by the way. Also Venmo, great way to help the show. All right. And patreon.com/show. Okay. Here we go.
They're obliterated, but...
Okay, wait. We got to back up because there's a lot to this. Okay. I don't want to seem negative. Okay.
I don't want to be too negative, but let me just
I want to be just negative enough.
Pose this to you and then you tell me where you stand. Are we getting confused with they're obliterated, but we still have to do an economic blockade because they still have a threat? And there's a deal, but if they're obliterated, why don't we have a deal yet? We don't know who's negotiating. Is there sort of any whiplash for you in this, or is this still a positive for you?
Look,
Yes. Please spit polish this turd for me. I can't figure it out.
I think the biggest thing that's going on with Iran is the economic blockade. That is.
Thanks, lady. Why? Because they produce enough oil in country. They may not be able to sell it, but they can still use it as the engine of their economy. They're not cut off. It's actually harming, I guess, East Asian countries more than it's harming Iran.
That is what's driving Iran to the negotiating table. That is.
They're not at the negotiating table, you dizzy fuck. They're not at trying to jumpstart talks next week. They're not there. And they don't, if it was affecting them the way you say, why do they have to be pushed? Shit.
That is what I am optimistic will result in a deal. I don't.
She's optimistic it will result in a deal. Not that there is one anytime soon.
I think that the bombing, the taking out of the Navy, all the assassinations of top leaders, et cetera, have gotten us to that point. I mean, let's face it, the top IRGC guy is still running the show.
Mm-hmm. Right. He wasn't before. They had a president and a fucking spiritual leader. Those guys are dead. Now the head of the military is running things. And what kind of psychopath do you think the Iranians put in charge of the royal guard?
Apparently, he is still completely adamant, has been until very recently, that they would not abandon their nuclear ambitions.
Still is.
The only thing that's really changed is that there are scarcity of fuel and food and...
No. They don't have a scarcity of fuel. They sell it. They sell the overage. They have plenty inside the country. We didn't blow up pipelines internally. Though I don't want to give Trump any
bread
ideas.
and things that Iranians can
Bread. Yeah, there's a fucking so we're starving them out. This is an old-fashioned citadel siege.
not do without. So I do think that the economic blockade is crippling this regime.
Based on what?
And I think they know it, and they're going to.
Is there a situation where they're being crippled and they wouldn't know it?
Have to make some progress on this peace deal. Right now, the
some progress. Fuck me.
Most recent news is that they want to establish some sort of agency to oversee and tax passage through the strait. That
right. That's the progress, that they want to charge a toll on the strait that they did not have the ability to do before. Sorry. So Trump attacked Iran so that the hardliners could take over the country and they could start charging tolls through the Strait of Hormuz. That's the reason. Because it wasn't the nukes. We obliterated that shit last year.
That doesn't sound like a total give up to me. That sounds like resistance. But look, why does...
Meaning they didn't give up. Sounds like they're being resistant. The petulance, I don't understand it.
Trump keep talking about more bombing, smashing everything up, et cetera.
To blithereens. She almost called him a blithering idiot. That's what happened. That's what came up, and she was like, I forgot I'm on Fox, and she...
To say, because at the end of the day, we do have that. We do have that capability.
Of course we do. The idea that we couldn't wipe out an entire country and every one of its citizens is not the question. It ain't about should. It's not about could. It's about should.
They know it. We don't want to use it because then rebuilding Iran becomes a Herculean task.
Yeah, that's been our biggest concern in Gaza right now. Right? Oh God. Now, when do we get to all the rebuilding?
It will engage the entire Middle East, and it's going to be a very, very difficult thing to do, just like it is in Gaza. I mean, it's a huge problem. So,
yes, it's a huge problem because all the money for Trump's board of peace is sitting in a bank account so that fucking Jared Kushner can leverage it and invest it wherever he wants and make money on it. And the day they start to actually have to rebuild stuff is when the money starts going out the door. And if you've got that money leveraged, that's the last thing you want to have happen.
So I am optimistic that this is going to end. Is it going to end today, tomorrow, next week? I don't know.
Well, I guess one day the sun will die and Earth will, become an ice planet. And then other solar systems will argue whether we're a planet or a Pluto.
I'm not even sure, and this was sort of posed, Jackie, I think you last hour were, or maybe it was Brian, if it's the markets that are rallying on a peace zone, I would say no. I don't think it's the markets.
Nope, they're just going on earnings.
Looking at earnings. I don't think the market is thinking.
Why do we even need the big money show?
Or oil for that matter. We're going to have a deal in Pakistan next weekend because we also don't trust these people. And I don't know what a deal looks like. How do you?
Right. Yes, exactly. This is a real difficult problem, I think, where they have like business shows and then they start talking politics. And because they're used to looking at things like, earnings and debt and, employment and ratios in these companies, those have to matter. There's a certain amount of gravity and physics in what they're talking about, and it makes it really hard to talk this kind of bullshit.
How do you read that?
I agree with you. I think the market is...
All right. Somebody saying, it doesn't matter who runs the nation. It is written to fall. Get over it. Your ways, your breath. No, that's not true at all. It's lazy and stupid and weak and nihilistic and short-sighted and foolish and dumb, and people have been saying that shit forever. And sorry, the world isn't going to end anytime soon. It's going to chug right the fuck on, and everybody in it should start moving in the direction of doing their best instead of just writing it off. Horse shit. It doesn't matter who's in charge. Biden would have invaded Iran. He just never got around to it. Obama wanted to, but Israel forced him to make a deal for being black. Get the fuck out of here.
market is rallying on fundamentals, but it needed that little push from this uncertainty to be taken off the table to really be able to go. And I think I've said this from the beginning,
The beginning of what?
even at periods of this negotiation where I didn't really understand what was happening, and I would
Sorry, you understand what's happening now? Really? Explain yourself.
sit back and think about what I was seeing and say, I don't get it, but I know I don't have all the pieces.
Somebody said both sides are pedophile Russian assets. Well, if that's the, I mean, I think only a pedophile would see the world like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the world that way because I'm not one. But I guess if you were a pedophile, you'd project that the rest of the world must be like you. Be a terrible thing to face that you were the only awful around, I guess.
Pieces. I don't have all the information they have, and you have to just trust the process. You have
What process?
to have faith in the president and his.
No, you don't. It's America. We don't have a king, dipshit. And by the way, where was that? You got to have faith in the president during Obama, or during Biden, right? But the rules are different.
And his negotiating team to be able to handle it the right way.
Mahalo.
Handle it in the fastest manner possible. And I think this is a market that has that trust and confidence.
No, it doesn't. This is a market that doesn't give a fuck. Stacked on top of the normal business that America's always doing, the $26 trillion economy that we have that can get dented left and right by 2008 or any of these other fucking things. On top of that is AI and the building out of AI and the investment that's going into it, and the fact that like we started it effectively here, and that Silicon Valley is still the beating heart of AI in the world still to this point, especially the monetary investment in it, is why the top 7 stocks are floating the economy, or floating the Dow up to where it is. That's why.
Because this is a president that has come into office, and everything that he said he was going to do so far, he has done it. So you trust and look at people based on the actions, not what they say they're going to do. But
right. So what has Trump done that he said he was going to do, and he fulfilled that? No new wars, no regime change wars, no Middle Eastern wars. America first.
if they follow through with them. And I think, that there is an element of this in what we're seeing, which I think is rare.
There's an element of this in what we're seeing. What?
Because I've said this before as well, that markets typically don't take that push or turn higher or assume the uncertainty is gone until it is truly, truly gone. I can't remember a scenario like this since I've been covering Wall Street where markets have had such confidence in one person's ability to be able to negotiate.
They aren't. These are fucking AI bots doing like 15% of the trading in the new market. They're responding to the president saying it's over or it's starting up again, like somebody was born yesterday, because they were.
An eventual outcome.
Brian, I do not like a tax or a toll on anything coming in or out of the strait, because it sets up precedent that A, it's money for them, but also if this is truly international waters, one country shouldn't have to get to decide that they're charging a toll on every global.
She's going to get fired.
Product.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Is that more Iran or more us, though? I mean, that sounds like
That's Iran, stupid. Yes, that's in their plan. Mr. sitting in the fucking newsroom on the news show where this topic is going to come up, dressed in a fucking suit and tie, in New York fucking City. By the way, maggots, I don't know how you watch Fox News anyways, but you'd think they'd move their headquarters to fucking Nebraska and try to live there. Right.
It's like Iran's idea.
For sure.
Right. That's not our idea.
We haven't agreed to it.
Jesus, he doesn't even know.
But they're just proposing that. But it seems like an odd thing to throw in the middle of the negotiation.
They didn't throw it in the middle, fuckwad. It's been there the whole time. In every version they've sent back, we get to police the strait and charge people crypto to go through. What the fuck are you talking about? they just slipped it in there. Maybe Trump, he just skims it. He's not going to look.
I mean, I suppose they want to have their chips on the table, too. It'd be a bad idea. By the way, I think it would actually be
It's a non-starter, fuckwad. It's a violation of international law. No. Of course Iran can't do this. If they want to charge people a fee to stop at their ports and get their oil, knock yourself the fuck out. That just raises the cost of your oil that you're selling. But you don't get to do it to other people. You nuts? The idea that they're like, I don't know, maybe this is we give a little, we get a little. Shit.
It'd be a backfire for them if they did one of these tolls through the strait.
They're doing it now. What do you mean if? They're charging people. It's crypto. It's like $20 in crypto per barrel. Like, they're already doing it. What do you mean if?
Every country would be like, let's find a way to get around the strait, which I think they're going to do anyway. So I think that's a good thing going for us. But that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, like the last time this shit happened. And then the time before that.
I've been as hawkish on Iran, I think, as anybody at this table. Okay, so.
Yep.
But I look at what they're trying to negotiate here, and I understand the president is trying to stay between two ditches. Okay.
Yes, he's driving a truck on a bike path.
Okay. One ditch is you don't do enough to stop.
Yeah, you don't do enough. That's the one ditch.
The Iran threat. Okay, you give up too soon. The other ditch.
Wow, the home builders not doing well. It's interesting. The thing that actually affects everyday Americans, those stocks are going down.
Is you go way too far and you get embroiled in a thing that we don't want to see again in Iraq, Afghanistan kind of thing. So he's trying to stay between.
So between forever war and unfinished.
These two, which means you do just enough to get just what you need. And
oh, God. You do just enough to get just what you need. Who the fuck is writing this guy's copy? Fucking Jackson Brown?
I think that's what the negotiation's about.
You get just enough to get what you need.
He's trying to get.
She's the kind of girl that's got the kind of weed that I like.
What we need. The hard truth about all this, let's say we get a deal, okay, and it has inspection.
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's all live in that fucking fantasy world. Let's just say we get a deal. What the fuck?
And it has verified handover of uranium and all these things.
All that stuff.
That's good. It all depends on enforcement. But at the end of the day, President Trump cannot control that forever. This whole thing is always going to be contingent on what the next guy and the next guy.
That's right. They can never have a nuclear weapon forever. And the only way to do that is to kill everyone in the entire world.
And the next guy does. It is like statecraft and foreign policy by definition is a never-ending story.
So probably wasn't a good idea when we had a deal for the next guy to come in and tear up that whole fucking chapter. Without, by the way, anything to replace it.
It has to be. So I think President Trump is trying to get something that is good for a foreseeable period of time.
Oh my God. I can feel my dick shrinking as he talks. Sorry. What? Listen, all around the world, jingoistic neocon maggots losing their boners everywhere. Listen to that again. You might be overwhelmed by hope. I'm sorry. Oh, hey, somebody noticed Blackadder quote. Thank you very much.
President Trump is trying to get something that is good for a foreseeable period of time.
Oh, God. Fucking pathetic.
But I think all of America has to understand, if you take the Iran threat seriously, and I do, I think the way the administration articulated conventional weapons, hiding nuclear weapons, is a big threat. If you take that seriously, every administration in our lifetime is going to have to deal with that. It's not just going to be Trump. So we should probably buckle in, because this is a project we'll have if we care about national security for a very long time.
All right, he's saying this is a forever war. This is going to be a fucking forever war. That's his argument, because, he can make all the deals he wants, but some asshole might come in after he makes the best deal possible and tear it up. And how, then what?
Well, and that's why
I like the moment where they're like, did you just basically say this is a forever war? Get used to it. And I've got to follow that shit.
We'll have if we care about national security for a very long time.
Well, and that's why, as I was saying at the top of the show, I think this market will change its mind 5 different times on whether this is done or not done, or we're happy with it or we're not happy with it.
Who's we? You're talking about Trump. This has nothing to do with anybody else.
Sell off, rally, sell off. We see that all the time.
Sell off, rally, sell off. We see it all the time. No, we don't. And if we do, it's not a good thing. 2008.
But at the end of the day, let me tell you what gave me confidence this week. Marco Rubio. Was that not a great performance?
It was terrible. He came out and defended Project Freedom, and then they yanked the fucking rug out from under. He talked for 2 hours selling Project Freedom, and then Trump went, you know what? Never mind. I half believe that he undermined Project Freedom just because everybody liked Marco Rubio's speech too much.
This week, and he continues. That really makes me feel good about what's happening.
I'm so glad you feel good about it. He gave a good speech, guys. Guys, he totally did. He gave a really and I felt so much better about it, It didn't change anything. And as a matter of fact, we went right back to the awful, that he was saying was over immediately. But
happening. At the end of the day, I have more questions about
how many ends of the fucking day is it in one show? Has this clip been 3 weeks long? Everybody up there at the end of the day, it's nighttime and you're not on the air. Shut the fuck up.
Then I have answers. One of the questions is, are we going to hear from the Iranian people? I don't know.
Not while the internet's shut off.
Will we hear from them? When might we hear from them? Could they have the deciding vote, in other words?
No. The IRGC runs shit right now. The guys with the guns.
That's all I have.
Well, they have...
Brilliant. Awesome. I'm so glad. We all feel so much better about the entire thing. I thank you, whoever you are. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on, this will play. The more on you know.
If there are snap elections demanded by this peace process, which I think is very positive.
Snap elections from the... It's a military dictatorship right now, dipshit. Yes, I agree. If Santa Claus and a fucking unicorn both fart glitter all over Iran and turn it into Mardi Gras, that would be kind of better than the current situation. Thanks.
Then Trump's promise that help is on the way, that would actually be delivered. I mean, to your...
Why? Who says? If they rise up on their own, you really trust Trump to protect them? Ask the Kurds how that shit worked out.
Point, Jackie, he does follow through. And
no, he does. He definitely does not follow through, as we've seen many, many times. They're on the money show. It's Wall Street that came up with the taco name for Trump.
Raise your taco, take a bite. Trump always chickens out, so it's gonna be alright. Raise your taco, take a bite. Trump always chickens out, so it's gonna be alright. Taco, taco.
Fuck out of here. You're on Wall Street. That's where they made up the taco term, stupid.
And I don't think they've forgotten that the Iranian people are the victims here, first and foremost.
And
Well, we're a close second as the American people right now. Like, I've never felt a more, more direct kinship with the Iranian people than I do right now, because both our countries are run by psychotic assholes.
He kind of promised that early on.
He did kind of promise it, along the lines of he promised gas would be cut in half price-wise, and your energy bills would be 50% lower immediately after he took office, and all the Epstein files would come out. He kind of promised that too. He kind of promised no new wars, no regime change wars, no forever wars, no Middle East wars. He kind of promised America first. Kinda.
Absolutely.
And he's hinted at it as we move forward.
He's hinted at it. Oh, he kind of promised it before. Now he's hinting at it. Do you fuckers? How did they? What is that? Can you imagine if MS Now and MSNBC at the time talked this way about Biden? He kind of promised this, and he's hinted at it. Jesus Christ. Maggots, how would you have taken that? Jesus. Oh, Susie, happy birthday. I'm sorry I'm glad you're here with me. I'm sorry we're watching these kind of clips.
Move forward. I'm hearing you say that actually makes me feel really good, because I haven't seen that idea of a snap election anywhere else. And so
yeah, it makes me feel really good. That thing you just made up out of nowhere that isn't happening and won't and can't feels so much better. Do you have any more bizarre fantasy scenarios that can't happen because of, I don't know, gravity, reality, physics, that you could just sort of shove into a bellows and puff up my ass? Good God.
I'm like,
I feel so much better about this. Seriously, maggots. Seriously, what the fuck? If people on NBC talked about Biden the way they're talking about, like, you know what? The possibility of that thing that isn't happening, maybe happening, might make me feel better. But I am a bit confused about every fucking word that comes out of his mouth. Like, you'd run clips like that all fucking year. 4 years, you'd have run all those all the time. If one person on MSNBC had gone, I'm a little confused. The president says, are we going to have this? We're not going to have it. And then he says we are, and then we already have it, and then we don't have it, and then we can't have it. And who are we talking to even have it in the first place, and whether it can even be had, and I'm back and forth all over the place. You fuckers would play that on a goddamn loop. Admit it, you pussies. No. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it. Sandy. Thank you, Sandy. Seriously, I mean, we've got, because I've gone vertical on YouTube, we've got more maggots than usual, and maybe they can explain it to us. Explain how this fulfills his promises, and the whole the last 47 years these presidents didn't handle this. Then why didn't he fucking run on it? If that was the point, he was like, look, I don't believe in no new wars, no regime change wars, any of this shit. But if I get back in, we got to solve this fucking Iran thing. And if I'm going to blow the fuck out of them if they ever try to make a nuclear weapon. If I find out they're even close, we're going to obliterate that place. We're going to bomb them with B-52s. If he'd have run on that, he never would have gotten fucking elected. You wouldn't have voted for him, you dumb sons of bitches. Get the fuck out of here. Explain yourselves. If it was always a threat and everybody knew it and somebody should have done something this whole entire time, then why didn't he run on it? Why didn't you support him in running on it? Why did anybody not laugh their ass off at him on his side, the people who were voting for him, when he put the peace president in and just go, he's being fucking sarcastic. He's going to show Iran what's up. Anybody? You wieners. Good God. All right, this has got to be over soon.
I hope that's out there. I hope that's something.
I hope it's out there too. By the way, you guys remember you guys mocking the Obama hope posters? Welcome to the party, pal.
They're thinking about.
Liz, what do you tell people who come to me and they say,
damn, she I'm beginning to think she's secretly on our side at this point. I don't want to say that because it'll get her in trouble or whatever. But I don't know her name, but I love her and I want to have her babies.
I voted for America first. I didn't vote for another war, and I voted for gas under 3 or a two handle. I've sat here at this table and said this is
Under 3 with a 2 handle. What she means is $2.50, $2.80, not $3 and over, but under $3, but not necessarily under $2. That's what the 2 is the handle, or 3 with a handle means it's between 3 and 4. This is money people talk.
This is America.
They're very smart. They're very interesting people.
First,
You can tell by their space. I was about to say their space desk, but honestly, it looks like a giant air filter. It looks like they get to sit behind the giant like ionizer that cleans all the air at Fox News because of Sean Hannity's bourbon farts.
First, if my daughter can grow up with a nuclear-free Iran. But if it's like a 15-year deal and then the next administration is kind of soft on Iran and then they get nuclear weapons, then...
And this was all for nothing, or they get nuclear weapons because they don't trust the deal and they're sure another Trump's going to come along, or Don Jr. runs in 15 years. That's I guess the theory. And then when they see him running, they're like, uh-oh, he might win. Fuck it. Let's get a nuke.
All of this feels like it wasn't America first.
It wasn't.
So what do you tell those people?
Well, I think it's a good question. I think making America safe is America first,
Yep.
and I do.
Right. So now again, the Soviets are in Afghanistan. We have to arm the Mujahideen for that reason, and then Osama bin Laden jumped to.
I think that's the ultimate goal here.
Is it?
The one thing that has been achieved, and I don't think anybody can really dispute this, is
Okay, the one thing that's been achieved, and nobody can dispute it. Here it comes. Good. Finally, something that they can hang their hat on. The one thing, indisputable.
We now have allies across the Middle East that we didn't have before.
What? What are you talking about? Who? What allies are you? Are you out of your fucking mind? Who?
I mean, it isn't just Israel.
Wait, did somebody go, huh? Or uh-huh?
We now have allies across the Middle East that we didn't have before. I mean, it isn't just Israel. It isn't just Israel and UAE. It's all the Gulf states. Now,
sorry. So they're now our allies because Iran fired on them? Is that the idea? What are you... honest to God. Sorry. So us attacking Iran brought peace between us and Saudi Arabia, or Bahrain, or Oman. What in the fuck?
now understand, and they knew before, by the way, that Iran was an existential threat, not just to Israel, but also to them. Look what they've done, what Iran has done to the UAE and to the Saudis and some of these other countries. I mean, they've been merciful.
First of all, okay, the Saudis, Iran's been funding the Houthis, which have been attacking the Saudis forever. When Trump removed our troops from Syria and he was like, I brought our troops home from Syria. No, he didn't. He sent them to Saudi Arabia to guard Saudi fucking gas refineries so that the Houthis would be afraid to fire on them lest they kill Americans and draw us into the war. He used our soldiers as human shields to protect gas production in Saudi Arabia. That was the last term. You don't think they appreciated that?
Merciless. So I think now going forward, we have a.
This is just like, this is stunningly dumb. This is magnificent. This is a level of stupid that I was not expecting in this clip. I was expecting a lot of, turd polishing and wandering expectations and diversion and market talk, but holy shit.
Dumb, stupid.
Attacking
Dumb,
Iran
silly, stupid, dumb.
gave us new allies in the Middle East.
Have a realignment of allies, and that is incredibly important. Not just
it's not a thing. I don't know where. That's not a thing. That's just not. That's insane. We have military bases in all of these countries. What the fuck are you talking about?
For energy, which Trump managed much better than Joe Biden did. And
what are you again? No, he didn't. Go read Fox Business's own articles about how Biden, because of the oil crunch that was created by COVID, and the mismanagement of it, sold oil from the strategic reserve at a high point and then bought it back at a low point, being the singular greatest oil trader of the 21st century. To point that he made more money on direct oil sales than any other single human being had done. Fox Business wrote articles about that. What do you actually think drill baby drill is happening?
In terms of his relationship with the Saudis and the ability to help control oil flows out of the Middle East.
No. What are you talking about? The UAE just beat feet and left OPEC Plus, you dizzy fuck. What are you talking about? Look at all of them. Like, look at her looking down at her table. She knows this is horseshit. Like, this is embarrassing. Good Lord.
But now on a whole host of issues. So I'd say that is something.
What do you mean a whole host of issues? You mean we're attacking their enemy for them, and that enemy will blame us and Israel, and we get to have the bullseye on our back for the next 3 fucking decades, even though we're cleaning up their mess.
That's very good for America and is America
There have
first.
been all kinds of knock-on benefits that are positive. I read today.
Oh, yeah? What you read something today?
That Europeans are setting aside some of the penalties in their green policies and laws. So they're setting those aside, saying it's not important. We've got to get the energy.
Oh, my God. That's the same as like extending the ethanol window because the prices are too high. What do you think? They're suddenly agreeing with you that climate change is a hoax?
That we need right now and not worry about these issues.
Because people will starve to death in the short term?
Kathy Hochul.
Norway.
Right. Norway. What do you know?
Yeah. So we can talk a little bit about that. I'm going to use that to jump into Tesla because this is a fun one. Here's some interesting news. Tesla, China-made EVs and Tesla out of their Shanghai factory are up.
Yes. Chinese-made Teslas. This is an America First story that I think every maggot has been waiting for. Tell us how well Chinese-made Teslas are doing in the European market thanks to Trump's tariffs right now. I'm getting a warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart right now. Chinese-made Teslas are doing awesome. Tell us all about it.
We're up 36% year over year, you guys, for a 6th straight month in a row, mostly.
Ever since the oil shock that was caused by the first bombing, where Europe went, fuck this, we're going electric, and every electric car maker saw a jump in in the cars they have available, the electric cars they have available in their markets, and because of basically demand destruction.
Mostly the Model 3s and the Model Ys.
Yes, Chinese-made Model 3s and Model Ys from Shanghai. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I don't forget a man who died and made his fight to be. And I'm proudly cramp up. Let me explain to you what's happening. Come here for a second. Come here. You, come here. Fox News is trying to turd polish Trump's Iran debacle by touting how well Teslas made in China are selling in Europe. I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm pleased. What? How do they think this helps? How in the fuck? Why? Why do you think this is a let's have a happy ending? Again, she's showing how the stock for Tesla is going up because Chinese-made Teslas are selling like hotcakes in Europe. Hey, maggots! I can't. This makes no sense. I have to smudge this place. What the ever-loving fuck? This is amazing. This is, so, I mean, this is, isn't this what the Iran war is all about? This is part of Trump's 5D chess. He's going to start a war in Iran to drive up oil prices so that Elon Musk can sell more Chinese-made cars in Europe so that they can have better urban air than we do because of the lack of emissions. It's a art of the deal, man. It's how it works. All right. I can't. I don't even like. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. And again, let's just in case you think I'm making this shit up, just in case you think this is me just trying to like spin what she's saying.
So we can talk a little bit about that. I'm going to use that to jump into Tesla because this is a fun one.
It's fun. It's fun how Chinese-made cars are selling great in Europe and making the stock go up here for Elon Musk, who Trump hired to like plant fucking operatives in every cabinet in his administration so they could blackmail him however the fuck they want.
Here's some interesting news. Tesla, China-made EVs and Tesla out.
China-made EVs. Maggots, I don't like fucking tap dancing on your forehead like this. I don't like teabagging the shit out of your worldview, but it's just at some point.
Out at their Shanghai factory are up.
At their Shanghai factory, the Chinese-made ones at their Shanghai factory. You know why they have to say Shanghai factory? Because he's got a couple. He's got multiple factories in China. And I'm proud to be American.
36% year over year, you guys.
They're up 36% year over year.
For a sixth straight month in a.
Sixth straight month. Wow. Wow.
36% year over year, you guys. For a sixth straight month.
Killing it.
In a row, mostly the Model 3s and the Model Ys. But China also saw some recovery in Europe. Sweden, France, and Denmark, who were saying rising fuel prices are making them want to go back to EVs. I was taking a look. I think in the Netherlands, gas is like $10 a gallon over there.
Yeah, it's called demand destruction. It's exactly what the oil-producing countries worry about in situations like this because people, and hopefully, look, let me reach across the aisle for a moment. Come on. And I'm proud to flee in a diggy-doo with a dingle-bingy-boo. Maggots, listen, I know you like freedom, or at least you like saying you do. Obviously, you voted for a guy who hates the First Amendment and wants people in jail because they make fun of him because his skin is so fucking thin. You could use, I guess you could trace a fucking, You could trace his own veins with a marker. But this guy, he might hate the First Amendment, might also hate the Second Amendment, which of course he does, because he said, what did he say when it came to guns? Well, you take the guns first, then do due process. Remember when he said that? And you guys just, I didn't hear that. I haven't. Remember when you did that? Okay. But let me reach out to you and see if we can bond over one thing. If you struck oil in your backyard tomorrow, you would not be able to convert that oil into the kind of gas you use in a gas vehicle. You'd have to sell the rights and have somebody do it, and then you'd have to move because all the fucking fumes would drive you off your property, or unless you wanted your kids to have birth defects, which again, you do you, boo. But you wouldn't be able to make gasoline at home, period. I know you think you'd survive the Mad Max future. You would not. But what you could do is if you had solar panels on your house and you had a battery system in your garage and an electric car, you wouldn't have to ask anybody for permission to fill up your vehicle with energy. Right? That's freedom. Maybe your Cybertruck buddies know something you don't. Maybe electric cars are freer than having a vehicle that if the federales are looking for you, you have to stop at a gas station at some point, and those places have fucking cameras. But if you could just roll out some solar panels and charge your car up, might take you a little while if you had to do it by itself without being hooked up to the grid, but you could sure as fuck do it. You could do it. And you would be free. And you could drive till your charge ran out and then roll out a couple of those solar panels, let the battery charge back up and do it again. And you'd be free. And you wouldn't have to stop and get that fucking black goo that came out of the ground in the Middle East from those awful people you don't like and make them rich. Just by going to work, you're making those guys rich. You wouldn't have to do that if you had an electric vehicle. It would have the same political impact on your life and geopolitical impact on your life that having your TV on would. So maybe, just maybe, stop looking at electric cars as some sort of like, white flag you're waving in the war about climate change, which I know you don't give a fuck about because you think God cleans the air with his farts or whatever. He blows away all the nastiness or whatever. But I don't expect you to buy in on climate change. I don't. I think you can understand pollution. You don't want garbage in your yard. You don't want smoke fucking billing if you're in traffic and some truck is belching shit into your face and you can smell it through your vents. You understand that's bad, right? Less of that is better. Let's just stop there. I don't have to convince you about the rest of it. Okay? But an electric car that's powered by renewables means you, as an American, no longer rely not only on a corporation to provide your energy for you, but certainly not anyone from the Middle East, Africa, or South America, which I know you have an issue with. So why wouldn't you? And for, the few of you that think, well, an electric car, the government could just turn it off. Motherfucker, they can do that with your F-150 right now. That's not, that kill switch exists in any kind of, computer-driven car, period. If they can do it to one, they can do it to all of them. The difference is, of course, is that why I won't own a Tesla electric car is because apparently Elon Musk can flip that switch himself, which is a little too much power for any human being. But can you at least, maggots, agree that an electric car would actually give you more freedom? You could live off grid if you had an electric car. If you have a gas car, you can't live off the grid. At some point, you got to come down from the fucking Appalachian Mountains and go to a fucking gas station and fill up a canister. And that's when they get you. Right? Can we at least agree on that? Like I said, I'm not asking you to agree with, or understand climate change. I'm not. I think you can understand that pollution sends 100,000 American kids to the emergency room because of asthma and other breathing disorders every year, and you wouldn't want that if you're pro-life. That's pollution. We can build this bridge just on no pollution. Yes? You don't have to give a fuck about the sky over Bahrain or the Sahara Desert. It's not your responsibility. I'd be fine if you just worried about the air that Americans breathe. So, are you with me on that one? Does any of that register? I know that Trump thinks that people want electric cars because
They don't like the gas.
That's right. But in reality, we just don't like the fumes and the fact that using gasoline for commuter vehicles, especially, forces Americans to fund awful people who do awful things. Whether it's, the Exxon billionaires that were in the White House patting Trump on the back for, helping him drive up oil prices before the glut lowers the price again. Or whether it's people in the Middle East who throw, naturalized American citizens and green card holders into fucking wood chippers because they don't like what they write, and Trump forgives them because you should be able to throw a reporter who talks shit about you in a wood chipper. When EVs have 1,000 miles a charge, I think it's game over for gas cars. They're already at 400, and the new ones charge at about half an hour, which you should stop and take a piss and walk around anyways if you're on that kind of a car trip. Just saying. Trump thinks wind turbines are evil. Oh yeah, that's another one. Hold on, real quick. Remember one of the arguments? Remember how he was going, you ever notice how they make all the... Hold on. There we go. How they make all the different wind turbines, but they don't use them. Remember that? Remember that whole thing? Hold on. Let's go. This is April. Yeah. True. Dumb turbines, $100 billion super grid. Where is it? Because there was a Bloomberg article. Hold on. I'm going to do it. I had it in Safari, I think, was one of my apps over here. Because this is necessary. Okay, so China's wind power, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to a massive scale. Okay. Those largest offshore ones. There we go. Yeah, there's this one. I'll open this one. Let's see. Race for builder. We're trying to wind farm and solar power generation overtake wind for the first time. Waiting. Let's see. Supplier sees spotlight as global thing. Yeah, here goes the other one. So here's this guy. Where is it? Son of a bitch. I had this article somewhere. Hold on. Anyways, let's see. Let's see. Maybe it wasn't Bloomberg. Maybe that was my problem. Hold on. Wind. Yeah, here it is. It was New York Times. Beg your pardon. This is yeah, here you go. That was my bad. Hold on. I thought it was Bloomberg. It was not. I have to log in. Here you go. Remember how Trump always says that China makes all the wind turbines, but they don't use them. You notice you never see any wind farms, right? You know that shit? Okay. Where he keeps saying they don't use them, they just sell them, right? That's all, he says it all the time. Yes? We recall this? Maggots, we agree? Okay. China's big bet on wind power is paying off. An industrial policy of subsidies and import restrictions laid the foundations for China to become almost as dominant in wind turbines as in solar panels. The war in Iran threatens to choke off oil and gas supplies from the Persian Gulf. China is seizing the moment to extend its dominance in wind power. Across China, hilltops, and this is the important part, across China, hilltops are dotted with wind turbines, and long rows of them span many miles in western deserts. Ultra-high voltage power lines carry electricity thousands of miles to the energy-hungry factories along China's coast. So they use wind to power their factories. You get me? All right. So now you understand where we are. All right, let me go back to this dipshittery. Chinese-made EV sales jumped 36% in April. And I'm proud to be the All right, I'm over time. I started a little late, so it's kind of okay. The other part is, can I do one more thing before I let you guys go? This says it's 0 seconds long. Oh, it's 7 minutes.
Talking.
Okay, here, real quick, just a couple of slice things. We'll do some needle drops. Here's Bill O'Reilly trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with Project Freedom in Iran. This is titled The End of Project Freedom in Iran.
Points memo. So this Project Freedom.
He's literally reading it like, fuck.
Has been suspended after 1 day.
It worked that well.
Most people in the world have no idea what Project Freedom is.
Well, they never had a chance to know it. It didn't live long enough.
I will tell you. It's to restore freedom of navigation for commercial shipping through the Straits of Hormuz.
There's only one Strait of Hormuz, but okay.
And protect vessels.
Somebody says, is Bill O'Reilly still around? No. No, he's not.
Vessels who are going in and out of the Persian Gulf from Iranian attacks. That
didn't happen.
That is Project Freedom. It was in place for 1 day, Monday. Tuesday it was suspended. Okay, why? Because the Pakistanis, who are trying to get a ceasefire agreement.
We have a ceasefire. We actually have a ceasefire. I mean, we're still shooting at them, and they're still shooting at us, but they're still calling it a ceasefire.
Treaty of sorts.
Of sorts.
Told President Trump that if you suspend it, we have a better chance of getting a deal.
And he went, okay. Really? You think they're going to do it? You think they really like me? My goodness. We're going to get a deal, everybody.
Oh, hello there.
Really?
That's the explanation from the White House. Credible.
Is it?
Credible.
Is it?
But it's not a flip-flop so
It's kind of a flip-flop.
much as it's another, now what?
Yeah, it's not even coherent enough to be a flip-flop. Excellent point, Bill O'Reilly. For a moment, I almost forgot that you had to pay a woman $33 million to keep quiet about the sexual assault you perpetrated on her while you were at Fox for years, and that Fox paid her $9 million and others a similar amount of money to keep quiet about the awful shit you did. I'm just fucking with you. I didn't forget that for a second. Bill O'Reilly is a fucking scumbag, but he's got Trump apparently on speed dial, so there you go. Also, we checked in with Will Cain yesterday, and he was having a Fox business moment about what is this is there a who are we talking? And if we are talking, who are we talking? Like he was doing the same thing the girl on Fox was doing. And now, what do you do? And I guess this is a big question for the maggots as well. What do you do if you're a maggot broadcaster and Trump is hiding half the Epstein files or more, terabytes of stuff about Epstein, mostly with his name in it, obviously, and his interactions. And what do you do when he's hiding that stuff? What do you do when he started a regime change war when he said he wouldn't? What do you do when gas prices are through the fucking roof and he calls affordability a fucking hoax? What do you talk about? What can you do? There's no way to polish that turd. With it, you talk about aliens. Are they among us? This alien conversation got out of control fast. Okay, here we go.
What would happen to people, to the American public's psyche, to their faith, to their belief?
Nothing. I'm sorry, but my belief in God would not be shaken by the existence of other beings in the universe. For real. It wouldn't. It couldn't. If it can, because like they never mention big almond-eyed guys in the Bible. You're like, all right, asshole. The God's word is written on your soul every single day. Simmer the fuck down. There are no magic books. There are no magic families. There's no magic fucking rocks. The whole world is magic and worthwhile. Every human being on this planet has a part to play, even if they're a fucking NPC. So no, if we found out there was aliens, I don't know anybody personally that would go, what does it all mean? Like, why do I even, can they see me when I masturbate? Like, what are you worried about? I don't understand. You'd have to be like an FLDS fucking cultist or somebody at Waco to have the existence of life on other planets make you go, oh my God, the Bible's bullshit. Like, how weak is your fucking faith?
Belief in so many things, religious. If it were confirmed that we're...
Sorry, did he say in Mormonages? Sorry.
To their belief in so many things, religious. If it were confirmed.
They get more religious. He'd get more religious if he thought that. All right, there are many things in your universe beyond our understanding of the universe. God is grand in all things, and he works in mysterious ways, and keeping the reptilians from you was all right.
Confirmed.
The Bible says God created worlds without end. I know. It's like they skipped that part.
Possibly.
I think they
that's what I'm saying. I think it's fascinating. I have no idea the effect it would have on people.
Right. Neither do the people who would try to hide it, and neither do the people who promote it.
Now, I've made the joke before, but I'm not sure it's completely unfounded that we might just move on in 12 hours. Yeah. Like the news cycle moves on.
But
you would think if that were disclosed, would you guess that's the only thing we talk about for the next couple years? Like, wouldn't you think? Or forever? Forever. That's the only.
Well, also, what do you mean disclosed? That it happened in 1957, and a bunch of people wouldn't believe it. But if there was disclosure, and now we're interacting with these new beings, and we know they're there. Of course it changes every fucking thing, dummy.
News that matters.
Not just online. Like, I go on the train every day. I would feel like I would talk to that with strangers around me. That's how crazy it would be. Like, how would you go?
Yeah. Do you know how nuts the world have to be for me to talk to people on the train? Other human beings? That's crazy talk.
Go on with life.
Exactly. It's like the only thing that can make me talk to these fucking people, who take the train. Who does that? Fucking liberal idiots riding the train.
Exactly.
I don't understand. Like, it would be insane.
Absolutely, Jasper's mom forever.
It would shake the foundation of everything we've ever known.
No, it wouldn't. No, because I'm Gen X. We grew up with the idea that the only problem with ET landing is that somebody from the government's going to show up at your house with a shotgun and try to hook them up to some sort of resuscitating device.
As humans.
But part of this isn't just about.
But is there a little piece? Is there a little piece of you that? Is there a little piece of you that thinks
that you'd like to have sex with the female aliens in Alien Nation? Maybe. What about the Avatar women? Are they big and blue and pretty? Yes. Will that have an effect on, someone's idea of the perfect relationship? Sure.
But I've got to see who is going to emerge as the starting cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, is there a little piece of you that will move on?
No. Stupid. And again, the people that will move on just won't believe it because they'll be fucking, offline.
How much of your attention moves on and how quickly? What about if part of the disclosure was also that aliens are amongst us? They're
right. They would be among us.
They're here, and aliens are amongst us.
Well, that's
amongst
the
right?
most likely.
Can you imagine everybody?
Uh-oh. I feel seen.
Already calls everybody else a Fed. Like online.
Only on your side.
Any opinion you have, you're a Fed. Now it's going to be you're an alien.
What are you talking about? The QAnon say that about anybody with a bigger bank account than they have.
Everybody is, and by the way, it's like COVID. You'd walk.
It's totally like COVID.
Around wondering who was sick. You'd walk around wondering if that person you're talking to is a reptile alien.
Yeah, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your own pet.
All of them. Will has one of each.
I don't know. God, the possibilities are wild. Or it's just something we can't even make up in our own heads that it's just so out there. But then with the religious thing, you could say aliens are real and we all see it, we all believe it. You could say, well, who created them? So that could have put God back in there.
What I'm saying is
like I'm just thinking.
Buy into.
The Trump on Mount Rushmore guy is entering the chat.
The belief that God created everyone, or did aliens create us?
Right. But who created?
Right. The Zachariah Sitchin novels. I read them.
The aliens.
Right.
Right.
This escalated quickly to silence.
I think that the end result of it would be.
Tell us, Will. Tell us what the end result of humans realizing we're not alone in the universe and aliens live amongst us, maybe wearing human skin. Will Kane, tell us how it would be.
Not future enlightenment. It would be future insanity. Like, we would believe nothing anymore. We would.
So why? What? Huh? I want to believe so I never have to believe again. I never saw the whole poster in Mulder's office.
We would look back on everything we've ever been told and doubt it.
No, we wouldn't. We'd look at the pyramids and go, oh, of course. We'd go, where is Atlantis? Where is it really? Is that what it was? Okay, you guys, it left. It wasn't a city, it was a rocket. Okay, Tower of Babel, right? It was a rocket, and some of you guys left, and you bridged, and that's who you guys know from here, and that's why you came here to check on us, and then you and the monkey DNA, was that how that? Okay, yeah, all right, that makes a lot of sense.
And consider it to be a cover. We would look at opinions and not trust that they're authentic opinions without an
yeah, especially if the person was eating a gopher right in front of us.
Agenda coming from an alien species.
How do you know that's not what's happening now? At least you'd know they were aliens and you could judge them accordingly.
We would. I'm not dismissing.
This is fucking dumb. Congratulations, Will. You took some of the pressure off of Fox News today.
What you said, Patrick. I mean, I think that the religious understanding of who we are as a people would be totally thrown into question. I'm not saying...
Sorry, it's not in question now? Have you checked how religious groups treat each other?
Because I do think some people would become more religious. I think some would become less.
Yes, the Hale-Bop people. They were right. I'm going to cut my balls off and put my shoes by the bed.
Yes, I think it would do. It would just...
Man, can you imagine if that was the big disclosure? The Hale-Bop people were right. You can go to space, but you know what? I'm good. No. You guys go ahead. I'm sure you'll find somebody that wants to go, but no.
It would just create chaos psychologically, chaos philosophically.
Dude, you're already there. Have you been to fucking Turning Points USA lately? Have you been to CPAC? You guys are fucking crazy.
Chaos logically, chaos interpersonally. Like, if I think about everyone involved in Will King Country.
Oh my God. Look, I have to be completely honest. I'm charmed and slightly embarrassed to refer to the chat as sparklers. I think it's lovely, but it's not something I would have created. You know what I mean? I think that it happened organically is what makes it sweet, and I appreciate it. But if I'd have named it myself and said, I'm calling my chat room this, I would feel like such a dick. And this asshole is just about to tell us how he feel about people in Will Kane country. Fuck. This is so lame.
Like you, Patrick, and Scott King over here are my top 2 candidates for aliens. Like you're probably like, if I'm thinking, well, what if they said 1 in 10? 1 in 10. Like, you know.
God. I'm 3 of them.
They would never tell us, like, how much aliens are a part of our world. But that's just me. Look.
Why? Just to create paranoia? Then it's not disclosure. You can think that now, you dumb. Have you checked the QAnons? They think everybody's a baby-eating lizard.
It's you guys. Who knows?
Fuck, somebody earlier in the chat, we had a maggot that tried the D-list insult with me again, which I don't understand. That's a compliment coming from you guys. You think A-listers eat babies to be famous. If I'm a C or a D-lister or something, that means I'm getting as far as I can get just on talent, and I refuse to eat a baby.
Who knows? Maybe they'd say that the aliens are super, I don't know, what?
Super, what could they be? They'd be super. What if Will found out that they were all super? Good news, Will Kane country. The aliens have the cure for all disease, but it only happens if you let them put their wiener in your butthole. We promise it works. And by the way, no pun intended, you have 15 seconds to decide. Die of old age, cancer, or live to be immortal, but you have to have an alien wiener up your butthole while this song plays in the background. Let me tell you something, folks. Let me tell you something right now. I am heterosexual. Always have been, always will be. It's just how I'm built, and I'm enjoying my life as such. But if that was the key to immortality, one shot from an alien while that song's playing, I would be immortal and have a really cute anecdote that happened 1,000 years ago. And I would be talking about this guy who died, who used to be named Will Kane, died of natural causes. Could have avoided prostate cancer one shot. That's how aliens get vaccinations. Yeah, it's the jab. We have come back. They give you the jab.
Maybe it's you. You're the TV host.
That's the other thing. Maybe it's me.
Yeah.
Maybe
it is you. It is you. But you're not one of the good ones. You're like the worker bee aliens.
It's me.
It could be Will Kane is the alien.
Like, what form would the aliens take as humans anyway?
I don't know. Countrified, faux redneck poser douchebags. I mean, it would work. It'd be the greatest cover ever. No one would certainly think they were an advanced species or that they were brilliant.
What would they do? Like,
they'd want a large audience. I'm just saying.
Oh, so they wouldn't do Will Kane. You're right. It's a good point. Good point. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, they wouldn't. Mm-mm.
And they'd also want to
they'd want
get
a large
people away
audience
from
and
disclosure.
influence.
Yeah.
What did you stumble into? Don't even pretend, Bobby. You know why you're here.
Exactly.
Hey, I don't believe this alien BS, guys.
Yeah, you're
Millions of people every
spreading the
day.
disinformation about maybe they're not real, but you are
Yeah.
one.
Like Patrick, like baked into my presumption is sort of like the Men in Black thing. Like, you remember when that alien takes over Vincent D'Onofrio and he's kind of awkward in his human body and doesn't know completely how to interact with.
He's not in a human body. He's wearing the skin
other humans. That's my image. So Patrick, you're probably an alien. You know, like,
oh fuck you, dude.
Doesn't just on a different wavelength than the rest of the humans. But that might not. That's a dumb assumption.
I mean,
maybe they've
No, it
mastered.
makes a lot of
Obviously,
sense.
if they got here, they've mastered human communication.
I mean,
They're the-
Okay, this is so lazy, like alien talk 101. This is the kind of conversation you get from people who've seen their first like UFO documentary, and they're just like, they're in the coloring book phase. All right, so I'll leave it at that. Here's what I will say though: is has anybody watched the? I think it's an Apple TV series called Sugar with Colin Farrell. Has anybody seen Sugar? Let me know if you've seen it. There's only one season so far. I hope they make another one. But now I had Apple TV. It's like it's so good. And it is sort of in line with this topic. But I'm not going to tell you any more than that, because if you haven't seen it, it will fuck with you. It'll blow it. Carl saw it. Yep, there you go. I rewatched it recently because I liked it so much. I just kind of had it on. And it's only like 8 episodes or something like that. It's like the Chicago Code. It was one season of Chicago Code, and that show was fucking awesome. Your dog's name is Sugar. Aw. So, but I, like I keep thinking of, if you think of characters that you'd like to model yourself after as a human being and in your behavior, one of them is obviously Chris Evans as Captain America as a good guy. Like if you're trying to be a good guy, yeah, you could. There's few heroes over the last little bit you could model yourself after that really live up to it. And the other one is the character Sugar. John Sugar, who's Colin Farrell's character. Also, if you got a second, I will tell you my Colin Farrell story. When I met him at a party in Toronto. Always liked his work. Really enjoyed The Recruit. Liked the movie for a lot of reasons, but my favorite scene is where he's drunk and trying to re-enter the software market in a hotel room while calling people, drunk dialing investors. We're gonna go ahead with Spartacus. All right. So, anyways, he was in a movie, and the kid who played my adopted son on Queer as Folk was in the movie with him, playing the younger version of his friend in the movie. So it was like 2 guys and them as kids, and so they would jump back and forth. And so the Harris Allen played the other character's younger self. And they were, I went to this party with some actor folks or whatever, and Harris was there and a couple of his friends or whatever. And then Colin was there as well. And he had clearly been reading a book on primate psychology, because he was doing this thing where he was staring people. You know the story? Yeah. Deanne, he did this thing where he would look people in the eye and not blink until they did. And he would hold his eyes on you, and everybody he looked at would eventually look down or look away. So it's a trick. In Bruges is so good. I mean, I like his work in general. I always have. And I'm in the room and I'm watching him like talk to people, and I'm not kicking in yet because I can tend to bowl over entire conversations. So I am very reserved in the beginning. It's just my strategy, because once I start talking, it's what I do for a living. So anyways, he's almost going person to person, like in a circle. I noticed he's going to this person next, and he's just controlling the room. So he will just look at this person and keep his eyes open until they just have to blink, because it's just too much. And I'm like, oh, I know what he's doing. As a matter of fact, I think I read this book. And so, like right as he's talking to this person, the person was right next to me, I closed my eyes and rolled them around to get them nice and wet. And then I went, like that, so that he would talk to me next, from what he was saying. And he did. He started talking straight at me, and his eyes kept open, and I kept my eyes open, and I didn't blink, and he didn't blink, and I kept holding, and we were talking, and I just kept staring at him, and I kept my eyes open, and he kept his eyes open, and he noticed that my eyes weren't blinking, and I obviously showed him that I knew his eyes weren't blinking, and he started walking across the room right up to me, and he walked all the way up, like right in my face without blinking, and I hadn't either, and he went like that. That was it. He just winked, and then we went back to being normal. Because I kind of called him on it, and it was fun. And he's a decent dude. It was a good conversation overall. Yeah, in Bruges is the what would happen if you locked Colin Farrell and Henry Rollins in a room together? I think Colin would get bored and leave. I like Henry, but yeah, you clipped aliens have the cure. Thanks, Cosmic Rose. Now I'm in trouble. All right, yeah, share that clip if you will. Make some clips on Twitch and share the alien jab. So, all right, much love to you guys. I will see you tomorrow for Friday Eye. Lots of stuff. Even CSL even gave me some clips today that were in stuff that I mean, there's so much fucking right-wing AI panic going on. I mean, there's, I guess, left-wing panic as well, but definitely the right-wingers are flipping the fuck out because they all think it's demons and the AI is God or we're making it God or some horseshit. Like, whatever. It's the same mentality of people that are like, you know, porn will turn everybody into a fapping monkey. No one will ever leave the house again, which is true. No. But that's what they always throw around, right? But there are a bunch of like, the AI is controlling us and people are getting AI psychotic and they can't control their emotions anymore because AI is going to, I hate when stupid people talk about smart shit. It drives me crazy. Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/HalSparks would be really helpful. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next show. Yeah. Cheers.
Guns and dongs and vested thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, ow. Guns and dongs and vested thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, ow. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Yay! Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Box off.
Mhm.